mean, this is a great opportunity. We've had so many people join the study so far. We've had hundreds of people that are coming from all over the world. I mean, when we set out to do this, one of the goals was to just get out of the United States and see the whole world as a whole an environment where there's a lot of experiencers out there that are just having all of these great things happen, and then we wanted to include all of them. First phase was all about, and this was all funded by Hal Puthoff and his sponsor, that was a European philanthropist, and had a lot of interest in helping experiencers get through their day. And he gave us money that allowed us to put together a program where we had 36 people that had some type of recording devices in their environment. And we wanted to show that, in fact, the experiences that our people are having, the UFOs, the orbs, all of the lizard people, all of the things that these people were having is not something that they're manufacturing in their head. It's something that they are getting signals from the outside that is actually causing to see this. And that was the whole idea of the first study that we were funded for, is to show statistically with good scientific procedures that this actually is the case, that the signals are actually coming from the outside, causing these people to have these experiences. And it was a very successful study. We published the results in a private periodic review periodical, but it was not available to the public. But still, the idea is that we did prove that people are getting induced to have this thing, some external signal, some external, however you want to say this, some kind of thing is coming into their bodies to make them have these experiences. And we wanted to capture all those. So to do that, you provide some kind of way that people can, go to some device or have some device in their environment, and give them a portal where they can actually start logging things. And that was a very successful study where we, in fact, approved this. So now here comes today. And today we have a similar situation where we have a sponsor who has said, look, I was in the first study. This person actually did very, very well in the first study, and it changed my life. I felt I can get a grip on this thing. In fact, my whole family, it turns out that this person's family, not the entire family, but him and like I said, it's a male member of the family, and two children had very profound experiences, and they were having very big problems, day-to-day life, trying to get around this. So they said, look, we want to help as many people as you can find that are out there all throughout the world that are having these experiences. It might be something that they're having a lot of anxiety, they're worried about it, things are happening and they can't explain it. Can you provide them with something that allows them to have the same sense of closure or grip, a grip on what is happening to them, just like I did, this person did in the first study. So we did that. We came up with a whole idea about a study where we would provide a device out to, and he said, I'll give you enough money to do 10,000 devices, but we wanted to start small and do 500 first and then go to 1,000. But I'll give you enough money, the sponsor said, that to do this. And if you can go out and get the people and get them signed up and have them actively involved in the system. So sure enough, we did that. And we invited, of course, Carl to help us do that. And there's several other people that are involved helping us do that. And it turns out that people are very receptive to this. We've almost have 300 people now in the study. At the end of the day, that's what our goal is to have these people come in without having to pay for anything, but they have to give. They have to give their data. They have to provide their narratives. They have to interact with the system and give their data. That's the cool stuff that we're really, really looking for. And if
Okay,
people
great.
do that, we'll give them, they don't have to pay anything, just to make sure that we're getting the right type of people, that we're actually going and not just picking up anybody that wants to be get something for free. So the first thing we do is we ask the people that sign up, when you sign up, is that you give us $30. That $30 we hold until you're actually in the study and you've been in it for a certain period of time. The reason we do that is that anytime somebody offers for something for free, you're going to get hundreds of people that, oh, yeah, I'll click on it and they'll just come screaming in. And it takes us a lot of work to figure out, well, they're not really experiencers or they're really not sincere people. They're not going to come in. So the way that we weed that out is that we ask for $30. We hold that for a period of time and then we give it back. So that's the first thing we do, and that gets rid of a lot of people because you get a lot of people come in and say, "Oh, I can't afford $30." But I say, "Well, you're going to get that back really soon." But they actually, and so it helps us to get the right people, and that's what we want to do. So basically, you come in, you provide us with $30, and that gives you the opportunity to give your information. You then will get an email asking you to fill in a okay, I'm sorry. So you fill out an application and then you complete a survey. And the survey is super important because we have an AI engine that's looking at you specifically and is trying to determine when you're going to have experiences, what the profoundness of the experiences are, or level of experience. So we need to seed that engine with something. And we do that by asking you to take a survey. So the Mini is a device that sits on your table and it basically will just record all of these things continuously all day long. And it'll basically just sit there and just gather information for, forever. Basically, it'll just take that, sends it up to the server, and at the same time, it's marrying it to the things that are happening to you that you're telling us about. Because we do have a portal which gives you a very fast way of entering information about, what are you seeing? What are your experiences? What are you actually having your anxieties during the day or things like that. And then of course we also have a watch. A lot of people prefer the watch because they say, well, I'm not home all the time. I'm not sitting in front of my computer or whatever, and or in my living room. Or, I'm out on the road. I'm doing things. So, we do have a watch option. It'll tell you, what's your heart rate, what is your jitters? Are you nervous? Are you having anxiety? Report all those, and those are things that you can actually put into your system, and combine that with your other data actually to show a lot more alerts. And so it's actually really cool. So what happens a lot of times is that people will originally sign up for the study and they'll get a mini and they'll say, okay, can I also have a watch? So they'll get a watch also. So they'll have a watch and a mini. And so they can actually have those two go running at the same time. And then what we do is we say, okay, wait a minute. Now, if I give you something for free, you might, it was our experience for the first study, you're going to put it on your shelf and you're never going to use it. And that's a
Right.
problem that we couldn't overcome for the first study. We had to switch around a lot of devices to people until we found the right group that actually every single day, or like several times a day, that they would put their actual data in. So what we decided to do was to charge a small monthly fee to each member initially. And as you more and more participate in the study, we then back that off. So we have people that don't pay anything. They have so much data going in that they just don't pay anything. Like say, for instance, you've done a certain amount of activities and you've actually gone through and put certain narratives and you take photos and you do all these things. And then we say, oh wow, this person's really killing this thing. It's really doing a great job. And then our calculation says that they don't have to pay anything this month. So every month you're going to get billed for what you don't participate in. So if somebody wants to just get it put on the shelf, then unfortunately you'd have to pay the full 20. But most people are not going to do that. They're going to get involved. They're going to do something because they really want to learn what's going on in the system or in their lives, so they can get a grip on this thing. And don't be scared of the values that are in your. If you do have a device in your end, don't be scared of the values because we're monitoring it and we'll let you know if there's something crazy going on, and give it kind of tell it out to you as best we can, so we don't. I'm going to scare you, but we want to make you aware of what's going on.
Well, great, Jim. We'll put the links down in the description box below for anybody who's interested in joining phase two, helping us get to that 500 to 10,000 sensor mark internationally. Go ahead and fill out the survey and request your sensor, and you can be a part of the project. And we'll see you there.